a heartbreak to change what a partake, cause none of them won't ever get comfortable in your walkway. My job is to aware you, fully loaded, prepare you for all of the above that I'm never letting get near you. But still in all, give you every advantage I found. Couldn't find a better fit for them, along with my crown. And since the baton was passed, I've been down, cause failing's not an option, and dad is not a noun, not at all.
Is she talking to you, D? Are you talking to your daddy? Yeah?
Coming together. Jenna, Danielle, thank you for coming on the show. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you doing, Danelle? She's
Thank you.
clearly doing great.
I see. And my next question, I ask all my guests that come on the show because I'm all about mental health because I think that's vital. How's your heart at this moment?
How's your heart? How's your mental health? How you feeling? You feel fine? I would say I'm a little stressed, but grateful. And she's doing great.
I can see she's doing great because she's just talking up a storm.
She has a little microphone in her hand.
She has a lot.
All about it.
Yes.
She was 6 weeks, I believe. She was 2 when it happened, and that was about a month and a half, so about 2 months, somewhere around in there.
Right? Yes. But to just tell me the whole scenario, what happened, and what happened next.
The whole scenario is starting from the beginning. We had a baby 2 weeks prior. And we were just all in our bliss and happiness of just having our brand new baby. And that actual day, he had a doctor's appointment for his annual checkup. And he went to the doctor and they did blood work and, certain stuff that they do at your annual. And everything came back pretty normal. There was a few things that were off, but she had no concerns at that time. There was no indication of anything leading up to it. We had a normal day, playing with the baby, running errands, everything. We had just put the baby to bed, and he ran to the bathroom to do his nightly stuff, brush your teeth, nothing odd, not complaining of anything. And he got back into bed and curled up next to me and put my arm around him and was gone. And I knew instantly that something was wrong. It was like a weird, deep breathing. I said his name 2 times and he didn't respond. So immediately I called my son into the room and told him to call 911. We called 911 and luckily we live in a small town, so it only took a matter of 6-7 minutes to get here, but we are to believe that he went that whole 7+ minutes without oxygen, resulting in him being disabled and blind and no short-term memory.
Wow.
I can't really give you any of the particulars because, you're already exhausted from having a brand new baby and the shock that's in your body of somebody just passing in your arms, somebody you love more than life. And, it just happens so fast. So I can't give lots of details people want to know and ask. And I just can't remember half of it. It just happened so fast. And I believe he stopped breathing more than once. And from what I was told by his POA at the time, that he went into cardiac arrest twice.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was just a very, words can't even describe it. It was just scary looking at her and looking at him. I just remember them trying to save his life. Hey, thank you. I do want to mention a lot of people were mad at me at the time because I did not perform CPR. I did have the dispatch on the phone, and I did ask them if I needed to be doing anything at the current time while we were waiting for the EMTs to get here. And she told me no, I needed to keep him on his side and just keep trying to talk to him and interact with him, and that's what I did. So I think it's really important because at the time I didn't know that the dispatch was wrong. He was still gasping for air, and I always had the idea that you don't give CPR unless they're not breathing. I honestly am ashamed to admit that I didn't know when you're gasping for air, you need CPR too. And I think that's very important message that we need to get out to. Would it have changed anything? Probably not, because I don't know how I would have got a 200-pound man to the floor right after having a baby by myself. So I don't know that it would have changed anything, but the idea of that I should have known to do something or change something, that's very important for us to get that message out there too.
No, definitely. I definitely agree with you on that. And it shouldn't be, it's not fair that people blame you and it's not your fault. You did the best you could at that time because no one knows what they would do in that situation that you were in. And get with a new baby, the person that you love is going through a situation. You're trying to figure out what to do. You want to make sure your baby is okay, but also your loved one's okay too. But before he had the cardiac arrest, like what type of like father or a man was he like before the cardiac arrest?
He is the proudest father, and that's one thing that drew me to him. We have known each other for probably over 20 years now, and that's one thing that kind of caught my eye about him is that every time I was around him or talking to him, he was calling one of his kids, or one of his kids were beeping in, and he's always giving them money or going shopping and buying them things. And he was very present in his children's lives. He didn't have a fair start in his early years, so he was trying extra hard to make up for that. He recently had a grandbaby too that he was just completely obsessed with. And as soon as he found out that we were having a girl, he went shopping and bought her, I don't know how many. Do you remember how many pairs of shoes you got her?
No.
Can you take a guess?
5?
5 is not it. More like 30.
Oh wow.
What's crazy up to this point is that he kept telling me he's gonna die.
Wow.
And he would say it all the time.
Right.
When we met, we all have teenagers, and he has a few in their 20s, and we were done. Right. And he said, I have limited amount of time. I'm going to pass away soon. Wow. And I think I want to have another child if you'll have a child with me. And I don't know, something in my heart said, let's do it. And we did it.
Wow.
And I'm so glad that we did. If this would have happened 2 weeks earlier, he wouldn't have been there when she was born. At least he got to be in that moment with us. So it was crazy. So he went out shopping and got all these materials, the shoes, the diapers, the clothes, all of this stuff that she needed, because he kept saying, I'm going to die soon. And I want her to make sure she has everything that she needs. And I don't know how he knew that or felt that, but it literally saved us, because when this happened, of course, he wasn't working and I couldn't work because I had the new baby and I had to deal with this. So our funds became very limited. And if it wasn't for him being the father that he is, I don't know where we would be right now.
Wow, wow. And it just shows that he's extraordinary, just extraordinary man, extraordinary human being. Um, but it's just a scary thought that he kind of foreshadowed
Yes.
is what happened. But at the same time, what I enjoy about your video is his connection with his daughter. Like the one video post of them having a conversation. Like that was beautiful. Just talk about that journey of recording those memories with him and his daughter.
It was really hard at first. He was separated and moved on from his ex-wife. And when we had got together, but she was still his power of attorney. And we don't hold any ill feelings or anything. Everybody acts different in their own scenario and doesn't know what to do or whatnot. And since I was the newest person in the picture, I was getting the fingers pointed at me. So I wasn't allowed, and she wasn't allowed to be around him for about, I don't know, the first couple of weeks. It was extremely hard for us to do that. They called in primitive care. They said that we were being unethical trying to keep him alive. And I have no statistics and I have no information, just verbal from a few people that worked in the hospital. Again, we're from a small community, so we knew a few people that were there. Wow. And primitive care was called. The board of ethics was called. They said, you're being unethical. We're going to take them off of life support. Wow. On the 4th of July. And somebody had told his ex-wife that African American male organs are in high demand, and he is listed as an organ donor. And we weren't really sure how to take that. Right. That's a very scary feeling to us all. She called, she told me, and she said, what are we gonna do? And I was like, you know what, we're gonna fight until we can't fight no more, or until he tells us to do different. Right. And when she got a lawyer, it stalled them from taking him off of life support. Right. The very next day, he started responding to commands. So by 24 hours, that shift in the energy, they could have released him from the life support, and he could have been gone. But that stall for 24 hours, I believe that was God helping us. And since he was responding, they did not put him on the primitive care yet. And then he just continued to go on from there. Do you remember anything? Do you remember being in the hospital? We would go up there, and of course, when he was in ICU, the baby was not allowed in there. Right. So I would take her hair bows or her blankie that she used the night before, and I would go wrap his hands in them so they could have some kind of feeling, and I would leave the blanket there overnight. And then when I finally, this is when I finally did get to see him, I'd bring the blanket back so they had some kind of energy feeling there. A few weeks into it, I don't know that I should say it, but there was a nice enough nurse that put her job on the line for us, and she said, I believe in babies and their energies, and I believe she needs to see her dad.
Wow.
And that video that I had posted was her first time interacting with her father in 6 weeks. I
Wow.
feel like they do have a strong connection. This way, Ben. They do have a very strong connection. Every time that they were able to see each other, he kept improving and improving and improving until we got to where we are today. And I continue to say that I think it's his love for his children, which he constantly talks about, all four of them, on a daily basis, that got him through this to where we are now.
And I totally agree. I think that this is the road to recovery is that bonding with his children because he is so much he wants to see like her to be a part of that first daddy daughter dance, her first graduation, things like that. He's a fighter, and it's just I can see it in him that he doesn't want to give up because he wants to be there for the long run. Um, but how's it been for you? How's like for you personally, like the toll of, you know, the world
Me,
on your back?
me personally, is it has been nothing short of a nightmare. It's very hard. When he got home, we had no education. The only reason that we probably survived this long is because I was a CNA prior to this many years ago and had some kind of knowledge of how to care for him. I know that there are hundreds of thousands, probably, people that have anoxic brain injuries that are way worse off than him. Most of them are, if they are able to go home, they are on machines the rest of their life. So we got extremely lucky with the situation that we have, but it's still extremely hard. We've tried to have help come in. Um, it just hasn't been the best help. People don't show up for work or people have stolen from us.
Wow.
So at that point, I just said, I'm going to do it myself. We've had enough disappointment in life right now.
Wow.
So I've been doing it all myself, and it's 24-hour care, and it's extremely exhausting. He doesn't sleep through the night, and trying to regulate medications for behaviors has been a nothing short of a nightmare. It's really hard for us to get out of the house because my whole family cannot fit in the car with him. So if we go somewhere, I have to take the kids and then I have to take him in his wheelchair. It's very hard to get him in our car. There's no grants or help that we have found anyways for handicap vehicles. So you're kind of just like, hey, figure it out. And that's pretty much how the journey has been the entire time. It's just, hey, figure it out. Luckily for me, I have a lot of nurse friends because I was in school to become a nurse at one point. So that's where my core of friends came from. So they're always willing and able to answer questions for us. My mom's also a nurse, so she helps me out a lot if I have questions. So that's how we've made it through. It's like they don't care. The healthcare system is just like, here you go,
Right.
and figure it out. Good luck. If we have questions for his doctor, it can take up to a week for her to respond, if she even responds.
Wow.
So it's like it's very hard, and being stuck in the house because we can't really leave or do anything. It's very draining. I'm anxious to go to the grocery store now. I'm like, yes, fresh air.
Yeah.
So it has been pretty bad for me. But it has its happy moments and its good days, and I have faith that things will get better soon.
And it will be because I think the beauty of the story is how you guys are bond together. A family cry, they struggle, they laugh together. Um, so just talk about that importance of just come this family and the strength of your family?
I also have a 14-year-old. Sorry, Jordan.
Hey, Jordan.
I also have a 14-year-old, and I would say I wouldn't be able to do it without him. He actually lives here. A part of bringing Danelle home, my oldest son, Julian, he's 18, had to go live with my mom, which is not that far away and not so bad for him because he gets spoiled over there. So he wins. But we didn't have enough room in our small house for his medical equipment and everything. So Julian volunteered to go to grandma's house. So that was really hard on me, unexpected. You as a mother, at 18, they're going to move out, but he had to move out last year when he was 17. So it was a little early for me, but he still comes over almost every day and checks on us. So that's great. But here in our actual house, it's way too small for us, and we're all living on top of each other like a can of sardines, and it's very stressful. And like I said, my son Jordan has helped out a lot, and I just don't think that I would be able to do it without him and his help. I know it has put a strain on him because Danelle does have outbursts usually around the time the sun's going down. And for a teenage boy, he has to be very selective of who he can have over to the house. Because, teenagers can be nasty. Luckily for him, he has a group of great friends. But the fact that he has to be selective, and I feel like sometimes he doesn't want to leave the house and go do what he wants to do because he doesn't want to leave me alone. With all of it. So that has put a strain on him. I feel like it's put a strain on the baby because she doesn't, can't sit down and really interact with her as much as I would like to. Danelle yells a lot. He gets very confused because he's blind. And of course he has no short-term memory. So he doesn't know where he's at. He doesn't know who he's with. And that could be very frustrating for him. So usually in order for him to get the attention that he needs when he's not getting it, he screams. So now Miss Thing here has picked up the habit of screaming as well. And I feel like, it can be corrected over time, of course, but I feel like, that's very straining for her too, and hard for her to understand as to why daddy gets to scream and gets what he wants, but if I scream, I don't get what I want. Right. So I think that's a bit hard on her too. His aspect is there's lots of situations where like he's been approved for therapy, outpatient therapy, and his PCP has not put in the orders. Those were given by the insurance, approved in October, and we're yet to see her put them in. And I've messaged her several times about it. It's like they just don't care. Since he's been home, it's been 10 months now. He has had no therapy whatsoever, and he has been approved for occupational, speech, and physical therapy. And with the way things have just worked out, they keep finding a reason, or him medically on this medication, he's not capable of doing it. Within the first, I believe they said within the first year and a half of an anoxic brain injury is the best time and the most recovery time that you're going to get. And that was completely wasted.
Wow.
Yeah. There's certain things like I am his POA. I have put in the paperwork several times. Everybody that has anything to do with him has a copy of it. Wow. But when I call in and try to find out about this medication or what's going on with this, they will not let me talk to them. They withhold the information. They say they do not have the paperwork proving that I'm POA. Wow. And for him, they're saying, okay, let's talk to him. And they will ask him, what's your zip code? Do you know your zip code, babe?
No, well,
He can't even remember where he lives at. We have only been together shy about 2.5 years now. And with his injury, he's placed back about 15 years. So
Wow.
he doesn't remember what town he's in. He can't tell you the zip code, stuff like that. So then what do you do then?
Yeah.
If he can't answer the questions and you don't talk to me, so we just don't get to know anything ever, like
Right.
something in the system needs to be fixed there.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that. And it's important to tell that story because it has something has to be done, something has to be fixed. If that means, you know, like this story has to go out and it has to be told because, you may not be the first or the last.
Definitely not.
And so what do you want like the audience to know and how they can help or what can they do? Again, the floor is yours.
Um, I don't know. Particularly when we made TikTok, it was just to find help. If there's other healthcare workers out there that can tell me better ways to care for him, or if there's other people with anoxic brain injuries that have behaviors, maybe you can suggest a medicine that we can research. Or it was really because we live in a little town and our doctors don't care. There's not one doctor here that
Wow.
deals with anoxic brain injuries. The closest one is about 45 minutes away from us. And of course, with our vehicle, we can't really get there.
Right.
And he can't really sit in my vehicle. It's uncomfortable for him. So it's a challenge in itself to even go back and forth to that town to talk to a different doctor. So really, we just came on TikTok looking for resources for help, rather that's positioning or transferring, medication, therapy. We'll take whatever we can get at this point. It's really just, I just feel like he deserves more. I really feel like the healthcare system has really failed him. I had posted a video of a machine that we bought off of Amazon because he's not getting the therapy for the last year and a half. We bought him some stuff for at home. So if anybody has any ideas of different things that we can use, I just want people to keep in mind that he's blind, because people have suggested like apps on the phone for speech therapy and stuff like that. And a lot of it is you need sight.
Right.
And he doesn't have sight. He can see bright colors and shadows, but that's about it. I guess that's what hurts me the most, is that he has no idea how beautiful our daughter is. And there's been a few people that have got their sight back, so we're hopeful that maybe one day he can see her face. It's really hard since we are, again, new in his life and he's stuck so many years back, that he constantly calls her his other child's name. Like he doesn't know us half the time. Sometimes he does, and we're thankful for that. But we didn't come here for anything but resources and advice that anybody has. That's what we need. What can make life easier for us? Because it's like the people around us, the healthcare systems, they don't care. We're just another number on the list, And I really have seen some amazing people reach out to other people and have changed their lives. And if we can find a way to make things easier for our family, I think my family deserves that.
Definitely. And the first step is telling your story. And it's been a privilege and an honor that you were willing to share your story with me. Um, the power of vulnerability can go a long way because it touches the heart and it could just expand and hopefully get you the information and the resources you need. Um, how can people get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with you to give you resources?
I don't know really how to answer that question yet because I was hopeful, but I wasn't expecting our one post had just reached 20K today, and it just absolutely blows my mind. I was this is what I was hoping for, but
Right.
I didn't expect it. So I really don't have a way. If people want to inbox me or until I can set something up or you know I don't know how to answer that
No,
question. I
no, no, no
wasn't
problem. So
expecting anybody. We have went. He's been home now 10 months, and we have went 10 months of feeling alone, and now it's just really overwhelming. All the love and support and prayers, and if we only walk away with prayers, we're happy to have that. So like I said, we just weren't expecting it, and I will figure that out soon.
yeah, definitely. As soon as you do, let me know, because I want to get that information, and the people that watches the podcast, you know, they can reach out to you and help you in your need. So yeah, so as soon as you get that, please let me know as soon as possible, and I'll put that in the description below so people can definitely support because people want to support, because that's the beauty of human beings is that even though we live in this crazy world of uncertainty, there's so many great, good people in the world, and it's
I know.
willing to
I
help.
hope that we can use our tragedy to help not only get resources but help people maybe going through the same situation. I know there's times that I'm in a anoxic brain injury caregiver group on Facebook, and I've gotten on there a few times, and people have gave me great advice. So if we can do that too and help other people with our story, that's our goal as well. I believe this happened to us for a reason, and I would love to get knowledge and spread hope with it. That's our main goal.
Definitely, and that's the first step. The first step is you utilizing TikTok to share the story. The next step was coming on the platform, and I appreciate you. I appreciate Miguel. I appreciate you, little one, because you're the star. You have a lot to say. Um, what's your TikTok handle so if people want to follow you?
Forget us not 7.
Awesome. And that will be in the description below. Again, this has been an amazing conversation on the podcast. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Google me, you'll find me, and I will keep tabs with you. Um, so if anything breaks, please come back and keep me updated on um, the family situation, especially Danielle's situation.
Danelle, do you have anything to say or add?
No, thank you for listening.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
listening and having us and trying to help us get some resources and help and prayers here. It means a lot to our family.
And I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And we're out. Peace.